This is Gurmit. Thanks so much for joining me. So the UK Furlough scheme. The furlough scheme is basically the scheme that the government have created money and they're giving it to people for sitting at home. Basically, it's sit at home money to cover any wages that you may have got because you can't get to work because of the COVID-19. So the UK Furlough scheme spending has passed £25 billion. I want to talk about this right now. Let's have a little chat about this. So here in the United Kingdom, our scheme where we've been paying people who can't go into work, it's called the furlough scheme. So the British Finance Ministry reported that they spent more than £25 billion on the furlough scheme, and it's supporting 9.3 million people. 9.3 million people in a country of about 70 million in the United Kingdom have been unable to get to work. From their 25 billion has been given and distributed. Now this sounds very, very honourable, very, very wonderful. Let's just move on to somewhere else before we go back to this. Banks have also lent small businesses £29.5 billion of 100% state-backed loans, and these are bounce-back loans and other loans such as this. And this figure has gone up £1.5 billion every week. So that's a huge amount of money. If we just combine the 25 billion of the furlough scheme and the almost 30 billion of the bounce-back loans, 100% state-backed bounce-back loans, which we are not sure that a lot of the businesses will be able to pay back because they've been closed for 3 months, right? So they need these loans to get themselves back on their feet. And a second wave is pretty much imminent. You can just smell that coronavirus. It's around here somewhere, isn't it? Lurking around in barber shops, waiting for barber shops to open up, and restaurants and pubs. It's going to lurk in there. Strangely enough, it doesn't lurk around in supermarkets or in petrol stations, but it lives on notes. It lives on banknotes, but it doesn't live on coffee cups or receipts or carrier bags that the same people hand you back. Very elusive, very strange behavior of this coronavirus. But anyway, the second wave will shut down businesses again. So if we take into account the 25 billion that has been given out in furlough, right, and 30 billion which has been given out in loans to businesses. I ask you the question, and I've said this for quite a while, where does this money come from? 30 plus 25, 55 billion British pounds given out just in the United Kingdom. When I'm talking about the bigger bailouts, these are to small businesses and 9.3 million people who are employed to cover them. Where does the money come from? It gets created out of thin air. This is not going to end well. You may be thinking this guy's always ranting on and talking some doom or gloom language. The reason I'm doing this is to prepare everybody for what is on the horizon. Look, that is paper currency. That is gold. That is money. That used to back this. This is meant to represent this. It's not, and it's not been like that since the 1970s. They can create this out of thin air. This is this. The money that is being given out is currency, and it's going to cause inflation. It's ultimately going to cause inflation. Zimbabwe, Venezuela, the Weimar Republic in Germany, Hungary, 1946. Currency gets created out of thin air, gets thrown into an economy which is in trouble. That is why they start doing it. Well, what got these economies in trouble is that it's a vicious circle, is the fact that this is not backed by anything. So it's a vicious circle. The fact that this paper money is not backed by this created the trouble in the first place. That was the problem in the first place. It should have remained and been backed by gold. The reason our currency was taken off gold was because they can't create, because they can't create this out of thin air. You know, effort has got to go into this mining. It's got to be mined. This, they can just do as much as they want. And that's what they've been doing for decades, And what is happening right now is an accumulation of decades of almost close to a century, because when the Federal Reserve, it goes back then, Decades of rampant money printing backed by nothing. Economy's failing, boom and bust cycles happening. And when the bust cycles happen, how do they inflate the economy again? They start creating more of this stuff to pump the economy up. And they keep doing this, and this keeps going up. And so there's more currency going into circulation. And right now, we are at a ridiculous amount of currency being created. Just in the UK, just on these two schemes, we're looking around 55 to 60 billion pounds. In the US, we know that there's been trillions, with a T, trillions of dollars thrown into economies, into stock markets. The US stock market is bigger than the US economy. That absolutely makes no sense. US governments, UK governments, other governments are buying back bonds, which is illegal. It actually is illegal. So they are doing whatever they want just to keep the economy afloat. They are giving people hush money, in the sense, in the name of furlough schemes, money to stay at home. And now there is talk being thrown around very freely now about universal basic income. They're getting people used to. In the UK, we've got 9.3 million people who've been sitting at home. And a lot of them, I'm sure, most of them don't want to be sitting at home because there's nowhere where they can go anyway. But people are going crazy. They're going stir crazy because they can't go out and interact with other people. But 9.3 million people receiving furlough. Can you imagine more than that receiving a universal basic income? Again, I want to ask the same question. If there's a universal basic income, which, as the name suggests, it's a basic income for everybody. Everybody will get money just for being born and being there. Where is this universal basic income, money, currency going to come from? Is it going to be backed by this? Absolutely not, because they won't be able to create enough of this to distribute to everybody. It's going to be a paper fiat-based system, and not paper. I mean a digital fiat-based system, because we've moved on from paper. You know, this is fastly going out of fashion because they don't want us to use this, because the more digitized money is, the more it can be controlled by a central government, by a central system, by a central organization. So if I'm still holding a stack of this cash, you know, I've still got access to some wealth. I still have. But if I'm on a digital currency controlled by a central bank, central institution, I am in big trouble if I cannot use that particular card or that chip or that account to purchase stuff. I'm going to go hungry. This is why we need to seriously position ourselves outside of this financial system. And the digital currency which is going to prevail is cryptocurrency. The right cryptocurrencies are positioned outside the system. And even within these cryptocurrencies, there are over 7,500 of these, I think now. Even within these, there are some that we should not even consider looking at. There are a few which are going to come out really well on top of this. And it's going to come to the point when this stuff, everybody realizes how worthless it really is. And they're going to be doing talks of a great reset and a universal basic income. There's going to be a vast majority of the people on this planet who are going to know that this whole game has been rigged. I do hope they do. Vast majority will know that this game has been rigged, and they need to be looking at something else, and they're going to flock to cryptocurrency. There is an opportunity. There is an opportunity for everybody to make some life-changing wealth and come out of this calamity, catastrophe, global meltdown, come out of it more prosperous than you went in. That's what we want to do. That's what the smart money does. And that's why I put on a masterclass on cryptocurrency. I'm going to put the link below. Click on it, sign up, check it out. The safest way for you to buy cryptocurrency in 2020. Some interesting information there. Stay safe, stay blessed. And I'll speak to you soon. Also, please, before I go, like and subscribe to my channel. Take care, and I'll see you soon.